All right, let's talk about this. Liberals had a plan to win the election in 2024. Hurl insults at Trump supporters. You know, if they don't support Harris and Walz, call them Nazis, call them MAGA fascists, call them garbage. That one worked really well. Then Trump got a garbage truck and drove around. Totally blew back in their face. The last one didn't work at all. And the top media personality who led this racist charge was a racist MSNBC host named Joy Reid. Reid loved to call pro-life Christian families fascists or call white Trump voters racist. This was her favorite pastime on her television show, and it's a shock that MSNBC now has canceled the show. Guess people aren't into that. The show was called The Reid Out. Well, Joy Reid is now out of a job at MSNBC because no one watched her terrible show to begin with. So she took to Zoom last night to cry about her show and how it really had value. It brought you so much value, and that's why she's crying about it. Watch.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about.
So you notice all the it's about me, we, I.
Like
we.
I had to do it. I had to speak like this. And look, that's something that I can relate to when we get called a Putin apologist or what have you, then I understand how you might feel. I have to speak for the truth. The problem is that she showed that she was not willing to speak for the truth. When she was caught 2 years ago on a hot mic discussing the Biden administration's dealings with Russia, the bump went to break, and she said, trying to start another effing war about the Biden administration. That told me that she clearly knew that the Biden administration was starting wars. Another means she knew, she was studied enough to know this, but refused to speak out. So that's why this rings hollow to me. I have empathy. That must hurt, because there might be some part of her that has compartmentalized and believed that she was doing the right thing. The problem is she spoke differently on a hot mic. She refused to speak out for death. So that's why I feel empathy, but not all that much sympathy.
I have no empathy at all, and I have no sympathy at all for these warmongers who would denigrate people and calling them racist for the way that they're voting and trying to sway an election in such way. Rachel Maddow says her network is essentially racist. So Rachel Maddow went on the air last night, basically called MSNBC racist, because now Joy Reid's show is off. That means, well, she said we have no non-white hosts now in these time slots.
Michael, what's his face, is taking one of those spots, the former head of the Republican Party. Michael Steele? Michael Steele. Last time I checked, he's not white.
Oh, well, tell that to Rachel Maddow. Watch.
Okay.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Reid Out, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid.
Okay. So Joy Reid is out.
Well, I was going to know if you guys saw, I read that she's getting replaced by a panel that have 2 blacks and a Latina. So,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
racist.
what I was talking about, Michael Steele.
So that's racist.
Well, that's what Rachel Maddow said, is that the people who are keeping their jobs are not racial minorities, so that feels wrong. So those who have been replaced are only the minorities. Again, race grifting here.
Yeah.
And she's apologizing to us like, I still have my job probably because I'm white. I guess that's very self-denigrating.
Yeah, well, oh well.